Hey guys, welcome back to the Lit Mag Lab podcast. I'm Jazz Marie, aka Vevnaforo. So previously, I was just giving a quick update on the engine, a little bit long overdue one. I just wanted to link up again what happened to it, and yeah, from February. So that's all. And prior to that, I was covering a couple different Lit magazine journals, right, with different statuses, and before that, answering a question about listings and directories. So dig into some of the past episodes. Again, I don't just cover lit magazine journals and presses. I cover various software, submission management platforms, and tools, right? And sharing my experience through Q&As. You can find those episodes, again, without the circles. So yeah, and just a reminder, you can see my screen out on YouTube, Spotify, and elsewhere. On Apple has video now too, so that's great. And yeah, so for today's episode, we will be going over a fairly new lit mag that caught my eye called Chatlog. That's CHATLOG. Now, before we go over the website and a tour of it and look at the guidelines and everything, let's head over to the Chill Subs page. Yeah. So that's chat log, yeah, on Chill Subs. And again, they're fairly new. So some of these fields probably won't be all filled out yet or anything like that. They do have 10 bookmarks. But new lit mag def caught my eye, and I'll share why in a little bit here. But you can see the type is showing creative, vibe unspecified, payment no payment at this time, no fee. And yeah, that's great. So no fee to submit. No acceptance rate is in here quite yet. Response time, editor reported is showing 2 days, so a fairly quick response time. Yeah, for sure, super fast. It looks like. And print issues, no. Accepts preview publish, yes. Nominate surprises, no at this time. It looks like. Again, sometimes editors come back and update these fields as much as possible, right? So yeah, always stick to what's on the website in terms of guidelines and everything. But for the most part, a lot of editors do try to update their chill subs listing, and same thing. Duotrope is another great place to cross-reference things, but I always tend to stick to what's on the website of the Lit Mag or journal. And yeah, but the stats really help, and the details for sure. Always helpful to see a breakdown of everything. So yeah, so about chat log, let's see here. So it says, do you play video games? Do you write? Can you write in the games you play? A book and quill, a chat window, a pixel canvas, lines of text that scroll away before anyone reads them? Chatlog is a literary magazine for the writing that happens inside these digital spaces. They want work that lives in the margins of gaming, the code that developers never intended for the literary. Poems, flash fiction, something in between captured in images inside video games. They're not interested in writing about games, they're interested in what happens when writers use them for their craft. Chatlog publishes poems, flash fiction, and experimental works written inside video games and submitted as a single image. They do not accept docs, PDFs, or copy that is not visual. All work should be pictured and legible in an image taken inside of a video game or gaming adjacent space. They accept JPEGs, PNG, and the occasional WebP file. So yeah, that's really cool. So they were founded just this year in 2026. I came across them on social media. I was like, gee, that sounds really cool. And I love the little floppy disk there. I shared on this podcast or somewhere, one of my podcasts, that I purchased for a work desk a long time ago. I still have it till today. A floppy disk pen and pencil holder. Yeah. I love buying recycled computer part art, and stuff of that nature. Yeah. I love buying repurposed tech art for sure, and yeah, things that, others turn into something else, right? And yeah, so floppy disk, yeah, totally. That's awesome. So let's head over to here, right? The calls, right? So it says always open sub fiction, always open sub poetry, right? So it looks like they're open, all year round is what I'm thinking. We'll check their website though a bit further, but that's cool. And yeah, sometimes, these things, of course, stats and open windows can change over time with a lit mag or journal. And yeah, but for now it's showing this, and that's cool, right? So yeah, and it shows publishes online. Yep. So all of that, yeah. And yeah, so some things are unspecified here, and they're, oh yeah, so they have their AI policy here, right? Emphasized and all of that, right? They don't want any AI generated slop. So a lot of people do refer to AI generated stuff as slop, and yeah. So I love traditional art, traditional writing, human made work from scratch myself. So yeah, it doesn't look like they're picky about cover letter or anything, right? So yeah, sometimes the other fields, some of the ones we didn't see filled out do get filled out, right? For the most part, everything is pretty clear. There are some again recommendations already plugged in here, 2 votes, and yeah, so that's cool. Let's check out Duotrope again. You'll see here, right, the fledgling listing, and I mentioned this on the podcast, right? So because they're fairly new, right, it says this project is new. And yeah, so you can see your fledgling listing, right? And I mentioned this on the podcast, right? So it says this project is new and has been listed with them for less than 6 months. So yeah, that means they really literally just started fairly recently, right? So that's awesome. I think what they're doing is very cool. It sounds super creative. So there's reminders here on their guidelines and everything. So yeah, I think what they're doing is very creative and cool. And yeah, there's again on Duotrope just like the types of calls, right, they have and the requirements, right? And yeah, but again, if you typically don't see something plugged in or something that's unknown, it might be on the Lit Mag or Journal's website. The Duotrope team does annual checks, right, across the year for Lit Magazine Journals, but typically you can find some updates from the Lit Mag or Journal on their website, if something's like saying unknown or not there, right? Because it's always a good idea to double check those things, right? And leverage Duotrope and chill subs as a way to cross reference and ensure you're meeting the requirements of the Lit Mag Journal. So yeah, that's cool. And again, we have the genres, right? Fiction, poetry, and yeah. So yeah, I'm gonna head over to their website now. But again, you can see this is what a fledgling listing looks like. Again, just a reminder on Duotrope. And I am now on their site. So chatloglit.com. Again, CHATLOG lit.com. Yeah. So again, a reminder of what they publish. Let's check out the guidelines. Yeah. So yeah, it says write something inside a video game for number one, right? A poem, a very short story, a very long story, a single sentence, something in between. Use whatever the game gives you. A book, a chat window, a painting, grid, a sign. The game's constraints are your canvas. Number two, capture it as a single image, screenshot or photograph, JPEG or PNG, one image only. Whatever fits in a single frame is your word limit. If you can't screenshot, a photo of your screen is fine. Just make sure it's legible. And then number three is fill out the submission form. So it says use the form to tell them about your piece and you as a player, your name or username or gamer tag, and how to find you on socials. They'd also like to know the game where your work was written and any interesting tidbits about its creation. Or just upload the photo, no pressure. So yeah, that's pretty cool, unique. I've never seen any lit mag do this before ever. And am I a video gamer? I would say over the years across my life, I think I mentioned this podcast, I played a ton of computer games totally in my family and stuff, even with my mom. Growing up, we used to sort of compete against each other, with computer games and stuff. Late at night when I was young, it was a lot of fun. I mentioned like Diner Dash and so many other games. There was like candystandgames.com. I was on quite a bit over years. But I never really had a game console in my family or anything like that at all, to be honest. There were times I played over at some friend's house, sometimes video games or, things like that. I think I played Pokemon and some other ones, I can't remember what the other one was at someone's house. I went over and played one time some video games, but I wouldn't say I'm a huge video gamer, but I absolutely love more so character design and stuff like that, like drawing video game characters and things of that nature. That's what I used to do more so. But I think video games absolutely a lot of fun, that whole world and everything. It's pretty fascinating, how video games are developed, from start to finish. And a lot of work goes into that, and I love seeing the different worlds, right, that video games have. I've watched actually quite a few video game adaptation movies over the years too and things of that nature for sure. So yeah, let's check out this submission form real quick and then we'll go back to here. Let's see what they're using. So yeah, it takes you out to a Google form here, right? Typical fields: email, submission title, genre, poem, flash fiction, experimental, other, the author name, the pen name, username or gamer tag, the game title, social media, bio, about your piece. Have you submitted to them before? And then an upload of your work here, right? One supported file image. So totally, when I started my Lit Mag or journal, right, Dippity, right, I just had leveraged Google Forms back then. But on this podcast, again, I've covered various alternatives to Google Forms. There are, I think, some absolutely better intake forms out there, right? I've seen quite a few use Tally, and even submission management systems. There are some reasonably low cost ones out there, and some free alternatives to Google Forms. So yeah, Google Forms isn't bad, but I think there absolutely are some ones out there that make it a little bit easier on the founding editor to, make sure everything's organized and, keep track of everything. But yeah, a lot of others still use Google Forms in the LitMag community. So yeah, starting out for sure. And yeah, so let's go back here. What they're looking for. So screenshots from video games that have your writing in them, poems, flash fiction, or something in between. They're not strict about genre inside those parameters. Any game, surprise them, stretch the limits of their very limited rules. Photos of screens. And I think that could be photo of the screen because I thought I saw one image file permitted on the form. So what they're not looking for. So it's not necessarily writing about video games. They want writing written in them within the video games, right? So they're also not looking for YouTube comments, notes apps, Google Docs, images of traditional writing platforms. And they do not want AI generated content, no AI. So here are some examples of what they'd like to see. Plain text inside a Minecraft book and quill, chat logs from old school RuneScape, words painted on a surface in Rust, bullet holes in CS2, Braille or otherwise, speech bubble in Tomodachi Life, consecutive lines in a Twitch chat, your words in a video game somehow, some way. And it says, no, they're not authenticating screenshots. The spirit of the constraint is what matters. If you faked it right, you only cheated the poem. A tip is simultaneous submissions are fine. If accepted elsewhere, just let them know. They'll wipe your save, right? Repubs are fine as long as they're rewritten inside a video game. And an alert is all submissions are free. They do not charge to read and they cannot afford to pay anyone at this time. But if they are ever able to, they will make an effort to pay their contributors. They encourage repeat submitters. A no on a piece is not a no on you as a writer. Keep trying. If accepted, wait a week or so before submitting again. All submissions will be responded to within 48 hours. So yeah, they have a super fast response time for sure. And that's cool. I think they have a very cool concept that they've launched here at Chatlog. So writing within video games, I've never seen anything like that. In terms of the Litmag world. So I thought this was really cool what they've done, thus far. So a note on public chat works. So they do a good job of specifying notes and things of that nature here. So works written in ephemeral game interfaces such as chat windows are not considered previously published by Chatlog's editorial standard. Visibility to other players in a live chat context is incidental and uncurated. They don't see it as an editorial publication. They treat these the same way they would a poem written in a notebook that happened to be open on a table. Works written in private interfaces, Minecraft books, single player notes, offline canvases carry no prior visibility concern. If your work had significant prior in game visibility, please note that in your submission form, they'll evaluate on a case by case basis. So, what happens after an acceptance? They'll post your image to the site and share it on Twitter and Blue Sky with your byline and a tag to your socials. All rights revert to you upon publication. They keep first North American serial rights for the archive. No payment, just promo and the archive. That's the deal. So yeah, then they have another button to submit work. Again, takes you back out to the Google form. So yeah, always good to have more than one button to take you out to the submission form. So yeah, absolutely they do a good job again of reminders and what they're looking for here. So we'll go to about here. And yeah, so if we scroll down, right, it says, right, there's only one rule. The game is your notebook, right? I like that. So they do a good job with the wording across the website and everything, yeah. Reminders are visible, right? The masthead, right? Editor in chief is ZT Fairfax. So we have the name there, and it looks like a social media handle. Reminders on legal and rights, right? So again, the first North American zero rights, right? Again, same thing I read on the other page, basically just reminders here again. Always a good idea to have reminders on, all of that. And yeah, so that's great. And they have social media handles plugged in here again. Another link to the submission form, and yeah, the established year at the bottom. So we're going to scroll back up. Let's head over to the archive. So yeah, this looks very fun, right? So we have all of these game catalog image files here, and they are here having motion to them. So I did play Homestar Runner growing up for sure. That is probably one of my favorites that I remember, Homestar Runner. That one I remember. The other ones I'm not too familiar with. Not all of these, just this one. Definitely Homestar Runner. And yeah. So let's see. Let's click on the Homestar Runner one. I'm just curious, So this is what it looks like, and yeah, we have the published date, the author, and this is the Peasant's Quest. It says here, right? And yeah. So yeah, that's cool. I'm just clicking into a couple so you guys can see what it looks like. Yeah. Yeah, mobile games here. The games on your phone, puzzle games, match threes, guild chat windows, mobile gaming is where millions of people spend their time, it says here. So they have like information on the category, it looks like, yeah. So yeah. Yeah, it's a very interesting concept, and phone games. So yeah, it looks like they do accept mobile like games too, like games you can play on your mobile. And I remember playing Homestar Runner on my computer growing up, and yeah, so that's really cool. Um yeah, I'm just clicking into these to give you guys examples so you can see. So yeah, this is very cool. So this one is Momentum by Alex Kerrigan on the screen here. And you can see, just giving an example, because I thought it was so cool what they were doing here, right? Yeah. So then they have the game where it's from, right? The root trees are dead. That's, I think, two T's, right? And yeah, it says here an author note's always provided, right? So this is a poem written in the notes field of the itch.io version of the detective game The Root Trees Are Dead, and is based off of an in-game piece of music. And it says this is a golden shovel based off of a lyric in the song. So yeah, that's very cool. So absolutely, I think Chatlog Lit is doing something very unique and different. I've never seen anyone do this at all. And yeah, it just goes to show you, right? You can create a lit or journal around anything, And again, it's not necessarily about video games, right? It's more so what's within the video games, right? And the words, within it, right? And yeah, so constructing poems and stories within video games, I think that's very interesting. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. So yeah, this is very cool. So here's another example, Breathing Morning Twilight, by Maria Guz on chatloglit.com. And we can see this. It looks like a micro poem. Yeah. So yeah, that's cool. I think this is a very cool concept. I think it's really fascinating. I feel like it's something totally, if you love video games, again, they're not saying writing about video games, but within the video games, right? And the writing within it. I think this, if you're someone who loves video games, I think this is a lot of fun. It's a challenge for sure. And yeah, there is a list I put together of lit magazine journals for like sports lovers, game lovers in general, and things of that nature on the Lit Mag Lab. And I plugged that list in a couple places. I didn't find a ton of lit magazine journals out there, to be honest, that highlight sports and games, but I put together a list of the ones that, perhaps sports and, game lovers would, be drawn to, right? So yeah, this is very cool, and this game, by the way, was Sky Children of the Light. So that's cool, the archive. No, yeah, so totally, guys, if you love video games, I think this is a very, again, fun challenge to try and tackle, right? And yeah, they have the game catalog, and yeah. So there's no fee to submit at all. They don't pay at this time. They just started quite recently, it looks like, but just wanted to share this. because I thought it was very creative, the way it's structured. And yeah, so I try to, see if anything else I can think of in terms of guidelines. So they're online. So I think, right, they're open to international submissions and everything, right? So yeah, on and they said they try to get back to everyone within 48 hours. So yeah, they have that and all that. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I just wanted to take the time to share it real quick on this podcast. I think they do a good job, the editor in chief, with the wording and everything, right? Even here at the top, where it says how to play, read before inserting cartridge, right? And yeah, it's a very fun layout, for sure. And yeah, so check out Chatlog Lit sometime for sure. I'm trying to make these episodes shorter if possible, but it really depends. Every Lit Magazine journal is a little bit different, but if it's an averaging, I think about an hour an episode, right? But yeah, I just like to share different examples. I'm not gonna again cover every single Lit Magazine journal in existence. That would be a very, very tough thing to do. But for sure, there are some I want to talk about and share as examples of like what's possible. And absolutely. And yeah, again, I think Chatlog Lit is a prime example, right, of how creative others can get with the presentation, right, of the poem and everything, the publication in that nature. And yeah, so again, they're solely online, it looks like. And yeah, so that's cool. Yeah. So yeah, check out Chatlog when you get a chance, and that's pretty much it. I just wanted to share them real quick on the podcast. And yeah, um definitely, I think it's a lot of fun, this lit mag and what they're doing. So totally check it out, right? No fee to submit, nothing at all like that. So it's more than anything really, really cool, I think, what they're doing. And pretty neat. So many video games out there in the world, right? So you actually have a lot of, to work with, essentially, right, in terms of taking up this. And it looks like, again, we saw mobile games, so not just that, and computer games, I think, in general. So yeah, that's pretty cool. So yeah, I think for a lit night that just started, this is a pretty very cool concept, and that's taken off, thus far. So yeah, I think in terms of being always open, though, I think that can be a bit challenging over time. Absolutely, as a lit manga journal grows and getting a 48 hours response time back. So I don't know if that'll ever change over time with chat log. And I know some lit magazine journals starting out, they, as they grow and grow, right, they move off of Google Forms or go to other things. So yeah, but anyways, that's how it's structured and set up right now. I think it's very organized, clean, and clear. And love again that they're highlighting, no AI work at all, and really striving for, others to get creative within the video games, right, that they have, played within, to come up with poems, right, and flash fiction. It looks like micro poems even, and things of that nature, right, submitted as a single screenshot or photo. That's pretty cool, if you ask me. Yeah, that's pretty cool. So yeah, take care, guys. And yeah, so again, they're open right now, it looks like, right? And yeah, it looks like a pretty fast response time. So definitely. And signing off. Yeah, bye. Yeah.